Local bottom might be in. So yesterday, you could see Davos, which is the World Economic Forum's annual meeting is happening at Davos, and Trump had a 1.5 hour long speech about everything that he's been doing. And he started off quite hawkish, and this is what this little red candle or sell-off was in the market. It was quite scary, to be honest, because we did have a market structure shift. Yesterday, as I explained on the show, the only thing that can actually mark a local bottom is potentially a deal with Greenland, or Trump coming out and saying that, you know, it's taco, Trump always chickens out. And that is kind of what happened. So Trump came on, and TLDR, he basically said a lot of things, but one of the most important things he said in statements is that he's not going to use force on Greenland, and he rather meant economic force or trade war kind of force. Now, what is interesting that after the Davos conference is going on, and for example, Mark Rutte, who is the Secretary General of NATO, came out and said Trump is actually right. He's putting pressure on us, and the EU must defend the Arctic region much more. So there is this whole positive energy coming out, and super important, Trump made it very clear. I don't need the whole Greenland thing. All I'm asking is a piece of ice that I can put a military base on and protect the US. Now, all this came out. There was supposedly happening a deal proposal came forward. Trump announced that he's not going to go forward with the 10% tariffs, and it seems like everything is just getting together, right? So this could be the local bottom. As I tweeted yesterday, if Trump plays ball now, the local bottom must be in. Decent pump, then sub 80,000 Bitcoin. I actually give you all the trades in the Telegram. I have this free group. There's a link in the description. No obligations, but you can join in if you want. Let's jump in and let's discuss what I'm seeing on the chart and why I am taking long positions. Guys, if you don't know who I am, my name is 𝗏𝗏. Been here since 2016, and we're called the 100x Club because I'm making at least 4% a month in profit from trading, whether it's gold, commodities, crypto, and that compounds to 100x my net worth in the next 10 years. You can ChatGPT that because it's true. Okay, let's get going. Super important. 5-10 minutes updates. Let's go. So very important. Yesterday there was a market structure shift here, which is basically a higher high on a lower time frame. That is how reversals are confirmed. So if you look here, this is what I marked yesterday on the update. I said there is a market structure shift happening here. There was a retrace to this very strong order block, and then an immediate higher high, which is basically a 4-point structure. You're buying the fifth leg. But this is exactly where Davos was happening. So if Davos was not happening, I do think we still would have had a small bounce from there. But because it was happening, there was a massive sell-off, and that kind of confused the market. The good news is that this recovery is what we're looking for. Not only we had a 4-point structure that got disrupted by the Davos news, but we had an immediate recovery from there, so much so that there was a close above that high that resulted from Davos. This basically confirms two things for us. One is that there was enough buying power here to create a 4-point structure, which is super important. And two, the selling pressure that was happening straight at the beginning of Trump's speech was actually not enough. And the result of the speech and the 10% tariff removal and all that had enough buying power to push it straight above that previous high. It is super important, not only on the 15-minute, but also look at this hourly chart. I mean, it's absolutely insane. This is telling me a couple of things. One, the bottom, local bottom, is most likely in, and I just wanted to see a retrace. Now, the fact that there is an elevator up and a staircase down, the market is confused, but this is perfect. It is a prime setup for longs, because all I can see happening, if we are lucky, is that on London, we're gonna see a little bit of dump here to the 50% and then an immediate reaction on New York. I do think New York will push. I do think that we will have a possibility of seeing a massive push. Now, how high that can go, and also in my tweet I said then sub 80,000, that is the main question. I do believe that at least up to the 3.1 trillion mark, possibly all the way up here to this region, which is also a breaker block, by the way, all the way up here. So either we'll see this or we will see this. You know, it's either one of these, in my opinion, and that is what I want to participate in. I shared all the trades, but mainly super important, whatever trade you take, what I would recommend you do is, obviously not financial advice, but what I would recommend you do is stop loss at local bottom. The same thing with all the trades that I have taken. So Solana, local bottom, Bitcoin, local bottom. If you haven't opened a position and you want to, I do think the best opportunity is if and when the market pulls back 50%. I do believe that is going to happen on London. So that means that we're looking at a 1% dump, 0.7, 1% dump down here about 2.97. And from there, it is a blind buy. I'm not waiting for confirmation. I am going to add to the positions, open positions, and buy this retrace if we get lucky. Now, on a higher time frame, unfortunately, it doesn't look good. So I'm still saying that this is a very, very strong reversal in the market on the daily. I do believe that we have to have a pullback here to the 50, maybe even up to the 3.11 trillion. That's what we discussed. And then unfortunately, I still believe that this here is going to get taken and we're going sub 80,000 on Bitcoin. But it's foolish not to take advantage of this beautiful, beautiful structure, combined it with the great news that is happening. Now, there is one more catalyst to this, which is going to be if Trump's tariffs are going to be struck down. I do think that the Supreme Court is waiting for that for all the situation to get resolved to release that. So if Trump's tariffs are struck down, that's also a very, very good signal for the markets, which could again trigger a temporary pump, and I want to participate in that. So that said, I have taken some long positions. Again, I told you about them here in the community. ETH, Bitcoin, Solana, Tron seems to be super strong, so I have taken that as well. And then talking about trades, talking about power, you know that I have actually taken this power trade as a vertical. Finally, it recovered. Most of it I actually posted in the community. Recovered that and recovered on the bots as well. So I'm super happy about that. We have to see how that unfolds, but this is ultimately what I'm thinking. Guys, there's a lot of things that is going to happen. Please join in on the community. There's a link in the description, on top of the description. You can join in. I share all my thoughts here. It's free. You're not missing anything, but I would hate for you to miss the trades. We had a bit-funded Zoom call yesterday. There was almost 300 people, and I got a message yesterday after we took these long positions. Someone saying, 𝗏𝗏, I decided dedicate this win to you, off to the next bigger challenge while already making money. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Completion of all challenge objective, moving on to trader stage. So I'm super happy to see that people are making money, and it's amazing. So guys, if you are here, I'm happy. Subscribe to the channel. Come back for another one tomorrow, 5 to 10 minutes. It's worth your time. Join in the community. I'll update you if something happens. If the market pulls back, as I think it will, I do think it's a great opportunity to actually open up long positions. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Let's go.